Hi guys, this is another in my series of tests of some new cars that I've got, and today I've got two classic Policar Formula 1s, the March of Joe Siffert and the BRM, Yardley BRM of, pardon me, the BRM is from Siffert, and the March is Ronnie Peterson. So sorry about that. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive them for about 20 laps, give you a look at how they look. Both of the cars have been chipped, so they do work digitally, and they are chipped a little differently, so I'm going to disassemble them afterwards. And also with one of the Policar generic Formula 1s, show you the difference inside with the chips, and you can take a look at the lap times. Probably will be some offs. I've got G25 slotted tires on all of these now. They are untrued. So there's nothing been done to them especially. The Ronnie Peterson car, the yellow one, has the braids changed, and I forgot to change them on the Yardley, but I'm not going to go and do it now. Also, the generic Formula 1 Policar has both of those two have sideways racing braid, very, very thin copper. It seems to be the best that I found for magless cars. There's no magnets on these cars. We're running strictly magless. So I'm going to start and shut up for a while.
Ready. Clear to start.
These are really nice handling cars right out of the box as I go off. They take a little bit to warm up. The classics seem to have more brakes than the generic F1 for some reason, yet they both have the same basic motor and transmission, so it's interesting. I'm going to do about 20 laps here and stop going off in that corner if I can.
Fastest lap.
The March has been out for a while, and I've sort of been holding off on it because I didn't know for sure if it was going to be chipped. Both of the classics, the March and the Yardley BRM, have Scalextric F1 chips, the chips that are installed with a separate infrared lead, and they're kind of generic. Right now, they're about the only ones that are available. The ones with the door to fit them are not available at all, although they're supposed to be coming in soon. The generic F1 has a slotted chip in it. I think it's SB15C, if I remember correctly. It's got the generic connectors that Slotted uses, and it's for Scalextric. Now I've got the voltage dropped down. The input voltage is 15 volts, but it's dropped down according to the race program that I've got,
Driver 1, first
which
position.
has
Driver
what
2,
they call
second
magless
position. Driver 3, third position.
curves on the controller which limit the power. We're running about 11.5 at a magless 40 on RCS 64. That's what the race management system is. It's a free management system, or you can buy the F1 version, which has much more capability for simulating fuel and tires and weather and all kinds of different stuff. Pretty complicated and really interesting. Makes the racing, well, I guess we'll go 25 laps. Makes the racing a lot of fun, as you've probably seen if you looked at any of my other videos.
Fastest lap.
8.321. Oops, and off at the kink. Okay, that's 25. Fastest lap was the last one. Okay, let's do the Yardley. All right, here goes. The Yardley is brand new from Policar. It just came out a little while ago. Really beautiful looking car. You may be able to see them up closer when I switch to the other floor control. All these go better when they're warmed up. Take a while. Tires warmed up. And in this case, most of them aren't true yet, so they'll probably be a little rounder. These cars are not broken in. They've only got about 50 laps on them up until this point. So the classic cars seem to have more brakes than the F1 generic.
Driver 1, first position.
I don't know why that is. They've got the same drivetrain.
Driver 3, third position.
Maybe a little bit more friction because they aren't broken in as much, or maybe just the vagaries of the new chassis or whatever. Darn. Got the kink again. I have to stop talking and concentrate a little bit. They're pretty easy to drive, not too bad at all. Fun on this course. A little word about the course. It's patterned after Road America in Wisconsin, which is my home track when I was a kid. But I've taken a couple of liberties with it. The back portion of it where it turns in towards the track is actually on the real courses facing outward. And the turn 6, which we just went through, is a 90-degree rather than a about 120 degree. So there's little differences there. Plus, they don't have the elevation on the main. We don't have the elevation on the main straight here that they do in the real. And the elevation that's over in the far corner there is not on the real racetrack. So those are differences. But that's the basic layout of the course is patterned after Road America in Wisconsin, which I think was the second purpose-built road course in the country, if I'm not mistaken.
Driver 1, first position. Driver 2, second position. Driver 3, third position.
Okay, that's 25 laps with that one. Now the generic.
Fastest lap.
Oops. As I said, these don't have as much brake as the other cars, so it's a little difficult to get used to right off the bat. And again. Completely different driving feel. I'll shut up now and concentrate more on setting a good lap.
Fastest lap. Driver 3, first position. Driver 1, second position. Driver 2, third position.
three of the cars are nice and smooth. Fastest lap so far is 8:199. Once again, I should shut up and drive. You can see a little, pick up a little bit of dirt on the tires there. Probably not helping matters. Oh well, forgive my faux pas.
Driver 3, first position. Driver 1, second position. Driver 2, third position.
Okay. Now I'm going to disassemble the cars and give you a look on the inside. So I'm going to shut you down for a little bit. While I move to the table. Hopefully I can get this set up quickly. I'm quite an amateur at this stuff, so forgive me if I'm a little slow. Okay. I'll pull it up a little bit. There we go. Move this out of the way. Oops, that's the one I want to move out of the way. Okay, I'm going to take this apart here. There is a screw in the front And 3 tiny screws at the rear.
Driver 3, first position. Driver 1, second position. Driver 2, third position.
I must stress that these are very fragile cars, easily broken pieces. So if you're considering buying them, they, as you can see, they handle pretty decently and are nice cars, but you got to be careful with them. It's impressive that Slata can make a car that's this detailed and works this well for about 60 bucks. You can see the tailpipes there come off. Not quite off yet. Now, one of the things I had to do is cut the driver down. You can see the driver has lost his legs and a portion of his torso there. But that was necessary to get the chip in. So here's where the chip is. You can see I've mounted the infrared LED in front of the guide, and that works fine. There's no problems with that at all. I've cut off the wires quite a bit, mounted the chip upside down, and you can see that. And that's about it. It's you can see it's very fragile in the front there. On this one, I did not have to cut anything out. Whereas on the BRM, I had to cut some stuff out in order to put the LED in. I'm gonna shut the program down for a minute so we don't have to listen to that all the time. There. So that's the march. You can see. I'll put that aside. You can see where the chip is mounted. Be very careful when you're soldering next to the motor here, because you can solder onto the motor case and you might cause a short on that, which will blow the chip. These are the older Scalextric chips, the original replacement chips they had in the beginning before they had the drop-in door type switches or chips. So, okay, that's that one. Now the BRM. You can see it's a nice looking car. Well done. Wheels are plastic on both of these. You can see the rear. Cool. Four screws on the bottom of the BRM. The typical slotted generic style screws, very short. And there's one screw at the rear, one of those little tiny brass ones. So 5 screws total, as I think there are in the other one too. Okay, I think we can pull this off now. Uh-oh, looks like I got a little bit of glue on the side of the driver. Have to re-glue that back in. Okay. You can see now how I've mounted this. The chip is down a little bit further. Now I had to cut out a portion of the suspension on this right here. Raise it up a little bit. In the center, I cut out the first layer. There's 2 layers of suspension mountings here. I had to cut that out a little bit in order to get the wires in, and also drill a hole for the LED, infrared LED, which is right here. You can see at the front. And a little bit of hot glue here, and a little bit of hot glue on the bottom. Chips are mounted upside down. I insulated the top of the motor to prevent any shorting out here, because you don't want the chips to blow up as a result of that. Okay, that's number 2. And this is the generic F1. Again, this one's got 3 screws and none at the rear. Little simpler layout. You can see here's the connectors for the slotted chip. This chassis was designed for the slotted chip, so it drops right in. There's a infrared right there, and also another one on the side on this particular chip, so you could move it to a landscape position if you wanted to. Both of these operate at once, so they work together. A little bit of pod movement there. The suspension has adjustments on it, as do the classic cars too. So, okay, now a little bit of specs on it. The March, the yellow car, the weight of the car is 50.65 grams with the chip installed, and of that, 28.2 grams are on the rear. So that leaves you with a 44-56 weight distribution, because the weight 56 on the rear. Most of them are ideal at around 40-60, 40 front, 60 rear. It seems okay that way. I think the yellow one handles just a tad better than the BRM. The March does. The total for the Yardley BRM is 52.34 grams, and 31.41 grams of that is on the rear. So it's a 40-60 ratio, 60% on the rear, 40% on the front. And for the weight of the chips on that is 2.31 grams, excuse me, as installed for the chips. On the generic, they're a bit heavier, about 13 grams heavier, 65.46. And of that, 37.7 grams is on the rear. So that's a 57% rear ratio. So 57-43, and the chip for that is a little bit heavier. It's 3.24 grams. So those are the specs on it. You've seen how they run. Let me know if you like this, if you want me to do more, and have fun slot racing. See you next time.